Hello, Jax. He likes to come around every time I try and record a video. Don't you? Yeah.
Yes, he's a good boy.
Alright, go. Go. Yeah. ¿Qué pasó, people? Let's talk about Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Was it Mary Shelley? Is it Mary Shelley? Okay. We think so. I was very tempted to get on here. Jax, go. Go. Stop licking me. I was very tempted to get on here and just tear this book apart because my God did I hate this book. I hated this book a lot. The only reason I finished this book at all is one, I just really wanted to know how it ended. Like, it did get me in that point. I wanted to know where this was all going because I had no idea what to expect. All I knew was Frankenstein is a monster story, and like modern Frankenstein is very different from the original. And because I listened to it on Audible, it wasn't that long. I listened to it while I was at work, so it didn't take a lot of commitment from me. But, Jax, go. I just got back to the house, so Jax is very insistent that I talk to him. The start to this book, I think, was a stronger point than any of the rest. In the beginning, we kind of follow this guy's I believe this book was in epistolary. Seems like journal entries, at least that's the perspective that it reads from. I've never actually seen it on a page, so I don't know for sure how the layout of it is. But we follow Victor Frankenstein's journal entries and his struggles after having created the monster. And give me a minute. Begin. Come here. From the very beginning of this book, Victor Frankenstein was not a character that I liked. Not even a little bit. And one of the reasons that I am not going to rail against this book as hard as I would have is because I feel like the intentions of this book were sort of met. Like, the author achieved what she wanted to, I think. I just hated what she wanted to achieve. And Victor just essentially refused to take responsibility for what he had done and was very selfish in how he lived his life and was very short-sighted. And it all comes back to bite him in the ass. This entire book, of course, because it is told from the perspective of journal entries, I feel like this book is a lot more tell than show. Because of that, it's mostly you're being told the story because it comes through journal entries. But the entire book, it's just Victor going, I'm so sad, I'm so miserable, everything is horrible. Granted, everything was horrible, and he should have been sad and miserable. Completely understandable. Doesn't mean that it's not freaking annoying, okay? Listening to 9 hours of him whine wasn't very enjoyable. And then the monster, when it finally comes into the story about midway through the story, is just as annoying and immature. I mean, at least he has an excuse because he's a monster given life without any life experience or guidance. You know, it's as if you took a baby's knowledge and threw it into the body of a man and the intelligence of a man. And while the monster's story is, I believe, a cautionary tale, and the entire book is a cautionary tale, it's just really annoying in its execution. Just like Victor, who whines and raves about how miserable he is, and he is the most miserable, and no one can understand how miserable he is. And he continually refuses to accept responsibility for the situation, excluding one brief moment where he partially accepts responsibility at the end of the book, and not even fully. The monster as well refuses to accept responsibility. Like I said, it's a little more understandable from the monster because he's been, he had a little bit of a rough start. And you could argue that he doesn't know better. But the monster exhibits sufficient intelligence and maturity, I suppose, that he should have known better. He continues to say how things aren't his fault. Like I said earlier, I will grant that probably a portion of me hating this book as much as I did is it's just not my taste. It's not something that I will enjoy reading, but I still felt like the execution could have been better. I feel like the execution for a book like this is difficult, especially within the medium that it is told in, being epistolary. But I think it could have been better. And maybe it is the age of the book showing, and it's definitely my personal taste. So, as far as personal enjoyment goes, I would give this book 1 star, which is, lowest of the low, bottom, throw it in the trash. But my more objective rating is going to be 2 stars. I can't give this 1 star because the writing itself, the prose, the structure, all of that is fairly well done. Even the plot cohesiveness and consistency of the story is fairly well done. Just the story itself, and especially the characters, are not enjoyable. So, if you're just interested in Frankenstein and you want to check out a classic, by all means go ahead. But it's not on my recommendation list for anyone who shares tastes at all similar to mine. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my little rant on Frankenstein. And to anybody who's made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Peace out.